What is culture? Culture to me is the tradition, values, beliefs, and customs within one's ethnic background. It's one thing to love your culture and another thing to embrace and respect another's culture. Today I would like to give you some insight on the Chinese culture. According to Tong and Liu, A World of Social Issues, China has an estimated population of 1.3 billion. In order to reduce this number, China put limitations on family households and limited each household to one kid. In 2015, they relaxed their rules, and now it's okay for China families to have 2 kids instead of 1. Speaking of kids, let's talk about common practices within the family base. In the Chinese culture, kids young at the age of 6 years old are already doing chores. They're out there sweeping, helping mom out, taking the trash out, folding clothes, and so forth. They're taught to respect their elders and care for their aging parents and grandparents. Usually when they become adults, they continue to care for their parents and grandparents, and it is uncommon for them to send their grandparents or anybody aging to a nursing home. It's also considered cruel, so they'll bring in their parents or aging grandparents and care for them there at the house. This bit of information should give you an idea of how close-knit the Chinese culture is. When kids enter adulthood, dating usually begins at the age of 20 or having graduated from college. Once a couple is married, the minimum age for getting married and wed for men is 22, and women it's 20. So that's the earliest you can get married in China. With men, they're considered a breadwinner. So they're the ones that go out there and grind every day. They're at work, making the money, putting food on the table, and pretty much taking care of the household. The mother actually takes care of the household, and they're known as the caretakers, the stay-at-home mom, caring for the kids. When I first did this research, it made me think of my friend Ming growing up. He's Chinese, and his parents were kind of similar to the research I did because the father worked 6 to 7 days a week, and the mother would stay home and care for the kids. It's safe to say that in the Chinese culture that it's very family oriented. When it's this strong, you can rest assured that socialization plays a big part in it. What a better way to discuss socialization than at the dinner table. I've always wondered about the proper etiquette in the Chinese culture. Usually when dining, you're served a rice bowl and an empty plate, and the main meal is at the center of the table. You are to use chopsticks and grab your main dish. It's usually one dish. There's no seconds. As far as utensils, the only utensil that you can use in the Chinese culture is a spoon, and that's usually for the soup. And the most funny thing that I found pretty funny is that you can slurp your food and it's not considered an insult or rude or anything like that. The host actually welcomes slurping, because they look at it as, that you're enjoying your food and so forth. As far as tipping, hosts usually frown on tipping because they're there to serve you. And they just want to see you happy, and they're there to please you and your company at the dinner table. I've always wondered how the Chinese culture stayed so slim. If I had to take a guess, it would be that one dish that they eat at the table. They're not there getting seconds or thirds or anything like that. So if I were to stay in the Chinese culture for a month or two, or actually live out there, I think I would have a problem with that because I like seconds. So next time I'm at a Chinese culture or a Chinese restaurant, I will practice my etiquette, and I definitely will get some soup and have my spoon ready for plenty of slurping. Thank you.